Hi, welcome to the Yarn and Yarns YouTube channel. My name is Angela and all of the places you can find me should be linked in the description box just below this video. Welcome to day 5 of my 12 cast-ons of Christmas. 5. We're almost at the halfway point already. Crazy. That means we're almost halfway through my time off as well. That's even worse. Where does time go to, honestly? Answers on a postcard, please. Anyway, it is Thursday, I think, the 26th of December here, Boxing Day. James's parents are still with us for another couple of days. I'm not sure what today is going to bring. I'm hoping that we will go out for a walk somewhere, but I'm definitely going to get out of the house in some way, shape or form. I need some fresh air. I need to wake up a bit. But whatever the day brings, I shall also be casting on a brand new project today. And I've got a sweater coming onto the needles today, which is kind of exciting. I am going to be casting on the Normal People sweater, which is a pattern by Charlie Button. And it's a sweater that I purchased when it first came out, which is quite a while ago now. I think this was Charlie's first design. She's had quite a few come out since. But it's a lovely turtleneck oversized sweater in an Aran weight yarn. And in my stash of yarns, I had this gorgeous sweater quantity of Debbie Bliss. I've got my phone on the tripod in the opposite way that I usually do, so I keep looking over here for the camera, but the camera's over this side today. Right. So Debbie Bliss Blueface Leicester Aran. This is an older yarn, it's not in production anymore. And mine is in this lovely teal colourway, and I have, I think, just enough for the largest size in this sweater. The largest bust circumference for this sweater is 55 inches, so that should give me a little bit of positive ease. I think the pattern maybe suggests a little bit more positive ease than that. I can't remember off the top of my head, but that should be enough for me, and I'm a slightly looser knitter anyway, so if I go with the recommended needle sizes and take a chance and don't swatch. Shh. Don't tell the swatch police. Don't do as I do, but do as I say. Swatch people, it's important. So people keep telling me. Yes, so I'm just going to cast on with willful abandon with this beautiful teal Blueface Leicester yarn and see how far I get. But if I don't have enough, I also have a really nice deep grey. I've got a few balls of that I could use as a contrast colour around ribbings and stuff, except this is a bottom-up sweater, so what I might do is a provisional cast on rather than just cast on, and go back and knit the ribbing afterwards in case I do want to put that contrast in. Before I head off and get casting on and enjoy my day, I just wanted, you'll see a video in a minute of me winding up, or a rewound skein of this yarn, and Tammy, who I mentioned in yesterday's video, is a new viewer. She asked me why I rewound my Peyton's Croy sock, and I always, if I have the opportunity, rewind my balls of yarn. I like the way that a cake of yarn behaves rather than a ball, and I know these donut balls and the wound balls are perfectly okay to work from. I find that it takes extra effort for me to tug on the yarn to get it off of these type of balls, which can affect my tension if I'm constantly tugging and dragging at the ball. I also like the way that a cake just sits nicely on the table in front of me, next to me, on the arm of the chair, and the yarn winds easily off. So that's one reason that I rewind my balls. And also, particularly in commercial yarns, more so than indie dyed yarns, some of these commercial brands have factory knots in the ball where the yarn's either broke or they've joined in a new yarn and they've just knotted the yarn together, and those knots quite often easily come apart, so I like to rewind my yarn and cut out any of those knots in advance, so that I can control where I'm joining my yarns in. There's nothing more frustrating, particularly when I'm knitting a sweater, and as you know, if you've watched for a while, I am usually knitting on the larger end of the size scale for sweaters for myself. My rows can be really long, particularly if I'm working in the round, and there's nothing more frustrating than coming across a join somewhere that you don't want a join to be and having to rip back or knit back to get the joins to come in where you want them to be. So yeah, I hope that helps you, Tammy. That's a little quick explanation of why I rewind my yarns. So that's the plan. We'll see how far we get, and I shall take you along with me for the rest of the day with whatever we get up to. So until tomorrow morning, which will be in just a second for you, I bid you farewell. As predicted, yesterday was a pretty lazy day. James and I did manage to get out for a little walk along the seafront. It was grey and a little bit drizzly with rain, but it was really nice. It wasn't very cold. It was nice to get out for some fresh air after all of the cooking and sitting around that we've been doing the last couple of days. So yeah, that was very nice. And then we just settled in for an afternoon. We watched one of the soccer matches, and then we watched, what did we watch after that? Oh, we just watched a couple of episodes of David Attenborough. So I got plenty of knitting time yesterday afternoon, which is great. I've made a reasonable progress on my Normal People sweater. But before I show you what I did, as is quickly becoming tradition in these videos, I just want to catch you up with some of the things that other people out there are making. And I had loads of comments yesterday, so yeah, lots to catch you up on. The lovely Danny is making a blanket, and she's also going to be tackling a Blake, I think. If you can just about see Blake, let me move you around a little bit. There he is. There's Blake, from the Edwards Menagerie book, as well as a ragdoll, and that sounds really interesting. I can't wait to see that come along, Danny. Jane has been working on her baby hats, and she's cast on and cast off 3 more since she last left a comment, so that's fantastic. Well done, Jane. You'll be keeping lots of little babies warm with all of those fantastic hats. The lovely Jen, who is Archeo Girl, is working on a lot of socks, and she also left a comment to say that she'd be making some stollen and plotting some more of her 12 cast-ons, so that's really fun. I hope you enjoy that stollen. My lovely friend Erin, who is Dufferin24, is finishing off a sweater that she's been making for her mum. It's actually a Christmas gift, so she's a few days behind, but the sweater is looking gorgeous. You can find it on her Instagram feed. After that, she'll be thinking about what projects to cast on. So yes, I hope you come up with something fun, Erin, that you will enjoy. Maybe something for yourself after that epic sweater for your mum. The lovely Sarah is working on some vanilla socks for a friend of hers, and will also be casting on a cowl for herself. That's always a nice balance, isn't it? Cast on something for someone else and then work on something for yourself alongside that. I like that. I probably need to do more knitting for other people. Zoe, who is the ever lovely Pins and Needles, is thinking about casting on a Mount Pleasant, which I'm super excited about. I love my Mount Pleasant. I'm looking over there because it's just off the screen over there. So yes, I hope that you enjoy knitting that one, Zoe. I certainly did. And then Linny, who is Candy Goth Creations here on YouTube, she is an epic crocheter, but she said she's thinking about setting herself a little goal to work on at least one knit project every year. Good luck with that, Linny. I hope you do cast on. As you know, I love my knitting. And then Tammy is working on a breeze shawl, which she says is a lovely pattern designed by someone at her local yarn shop, and she purchased a kit from them, so that's really fun. She's also working on lots of socks and a pair of mittens for her husband, so Tammy, sounds like you've got lots of projects there to keep you going. Test knitter, and I want to say, is your name Kath? Or have I remembered that wrong? I know you did sign one of your comments with your name. I'm sorry, it's slipped my mind. I should have looked it up before I started recording. But anyway, Test Knitter is working on a Land of Sweets cowl. That pattern's a lovely one, and maybe I'll get round to making that one day. Jeanette's finished the first square on her Sherwood blanket, and she says she's going to post a picture of it over on the Ravelry group. I haven't had a chance to hop onto the Ravelry group for the last few days. James's parents are going to be here until probably tomorrow lunchtime, so I think I will have tomorrow afternoon to myself to maybe catch up and hop on over to the Ravelry group, and I should hopefully be able to find some time to start replying to all of your lovely comments as well here on the YouTube videos. So yeah, looking forward to seeing your square, Jeanette. That blanket looks like it's going to be such a cosy, lovely project. Anita, who is Gaga Knits here on YouTube, and Anita Bulb over on Instagram, has cast on the Party Bunting socks. That was her Christmas Eve cast on, I think, and the pattern is from Zoe of Pins and Needles. So they should be a lot of fun. I shall enjoy seeing those grow. I've still got my little kit for my Party Bunting socks somewhere in this mess of a craft room. After the in-laws have left, one of the jobs on my list to do is get this room into some sort of order. It's crazy up here at the minute. Margaret, who is Soul Stitches, has finished a bobble hat, which is always a fun project, and is working on the Betwixtmas shawl, which is one I've not heard of. She said it's a free download on the Black Sheep Wool website, so I might go and check that out. And she's also going to be casting on some socks and a rainbow ripple blanket for a new baby that's coming along soon. So lots of really, really fun projects. I wonder by the end of this how many projects between us will have cast on. Maybe I'll try and do some sort of totting up if everyone lets me know what they've cast on at the end. Perhaps I'll do some sort of, well, I was thinking of maybe doing a wrap-up video at the end of this series of videos, so maybe I can put out a shout out for everyone just to let me know the number of projects they've cast on, and we'll try and gather an idea of how many we've cast on between us. That might be quite fun. So yes, a continued thanks to everyone who has let me know what they have been working on while they have been watching the videos and what they've been casting on. I love it, and I'm finding lots of new projects through the comments that you've left as well, things that I want to cast on now, but of course I have my list of 12 and I am sticking to it. Okay, so for my progress on my Normal People sweater, it's just a big mass of stocking stitch at the moment. So this sweater is knit from the bottom up in the round, and I did do what I hinted that I might do, and I put in a provisional cast on so that I can go back and put my ribbing on later. And actually Charlie's pattern is lovely, and she suggests that if you want to, she gives measurements for various lengths of the sweater, so you can make a cropped version or a waist length version, and she actually suggests in her pattern that you start with a provisional cast on if you don't know what length you want to knit to. And then along the way you can figure that out and go back and put in either a little bit more for your length or your ribbing, depending on what you want to do. But as I mentioned yesterday, I might be putting in a contrast colour ribbing depending on how long I make my sweater and how far my yarn goes. So yeah, I think I've knit a good 4 inches or so yesterday. Aran weight yarn just grows really quickly, doesn't it? and it's mindless round and round knitting. So once I got cast on and got going, it was great for in front of the TV, and I think there's a good chance this might become my cinema knitting in the early new year, until I get to the point where I split for the front and the back. Probably at least double this, maybe go even a bit longer before I split for the front and back for the length that I think I'm aiming for. So yeah, this would be a great one to take to the cinema for just knitting round and round. I wound up 2 50-gram balls yesterday, and this is what I've got left of the second. So this is about 1.5 balls worth of the Debbie Bliss Aran. I'm knitting mine on 5mm needles, and I am getting the pre-blocked gauge, more or less, that Charlie recommends for her pattern. My row gauge is slightly out, but I'm not worrying about that too much because most of the pattern I think is knit to a certain amount of inches. So but my stitch gauge is fairly well on, so yeah, looking good so far, and I really like working with this gorgeous sort of bluey teal colour. So yeah, that is it for my normal people sweater. Time to put that one aside. I didn't actually mention the friendship element of this. My yarn and pattern I purchased myself, but I'm going to be using this lovely crocheted bag that was given to me many years ago by a lovely friend of mine called Jane. We did a little swap, and in the swap package she sent me this gorgeous tote that she'd crocheted, and it's lined with this beautiful sort of fern fabric in a sort of batik. There's like greens and browns across the background. So I'm going to be keeping my project in that bag. I need to go, I've got half the yarn in here, I need to go and grab the other bag of yarn that I've got, and that should all fit in there nicely. So that's it for another day of cast-ons. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch. I hope you are enjoying this series of videos, and I shall be back shortly with my next cast-on. So until I get to spend some time with you again, I hope that you get to do some of the things that you enjoy. Until next time, great big woody hugs to you all. Bye for now.